Alright, as some of you folks know, I'm a huge fan of animation, and one of the biggest anime shows to come out in the past few years has been the Netflix series called Love, Death, and Robots. So, I wasn't such a fan of this initially, but as time's gone on, I've actually warmed up to it a lot. I think that's a very interesting show, very Black Mirror in its own way. I really like anthology series that really just combine so many different pieces, different facets from different items. So, I'm going to be ranking the third season of Love, Death, and Robots. I'll go back and do the other two once I get a refresher on them. But I just really wanted to share this with you because I think it's a really great show. If you haven't got a chance to see it, it's really interesting. Are they always successful? No. But are they always pretty good? Yes. So, what I want to do is I want to start with this one and kind of go with the ones that I remember the most and then kind of work my way backwards. So, to start off with, we had... which one was first? Well, this one I remember because it was the silly zombie one. So in this one, there's a zombie outbreak, and it kind of goes through all the steps that happen because of the zombie outbreak. It's probably the most ridiculous of all of them, which is fine. Like, I think it's actually it's very funny how they do it. And it's very tongue-in-cheek, very over-the-top, very much this weird... What I really liked about it was the idea that it came from a specific perspective. So you're getting this like bird's eye view of a city as it's rapidly getting overrun by all these zombies, and just the animation that they use in it is really unusual and unique and interesting. And I haven't seen anyone do anything like that outside of a video game. So the very fact that they do that a lot is quite funny. And it's definitely one of the sillier ones of the bunch, which is good, because you can't have everything just be heavy all the time. I feel like Love, Death, and Robots does a good job of balancing the different moods. It does a really good job of establishing something and then twisting it and then progressing it forward. So, yeah, having something that was so unashamedly silly and, yeah, kind of stupid in it filled me with glee, at the very least. So, for what that is, I really enjoyed it. I really had fun with it. And it's... in my opinion, it's definitely in the middle. Definitely one of the ones that I think I enjoyed more. This one here was the giant crab one. I think the animation in this was amazing. I really think that it was interesting. In terms of memorability, I don't remember it as much as some of the other ones. So, I'll take that kind of as an indicator that it wasn't one of the ones that I enjoyed the most. I think that it had a very interesting idea behind it. And in terms of like the animation, obviously the animation in these is always going to be fantastic. It's interesting, it's engaging, but this one just didn't catch me the way that a lot of the other ones did. So, nothing against it, still beautifully done, still an interesting story, just not one of the ones that I would go out to see again or see multiple times. Probably my least favorite of the bunch was the one with the giant bear. There was a lot of military in this one, even though I think it was just like maybe there's only like 2 or 3 of them, but there seemed like this was a lot of military pieces. It seemed like there was a lot of Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, where a group of computer animated people are going into a situation that you're just like, oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a computer animated army going in and doing something rambunctious or, destructive or whatever it was. This one didn't grab me as much as the other ones did. I felt like it still had a lot there. It was definitely bold, but overall, I don't know. I definitely think that's my least favorite of the bunch, and I don't think it holds up as well as a lot of the other ones do. If I'm going to go to the next one here, this is the other army one, the one with the Cthulhu monster. I did enjoy it slightly more than the other one, but there was something about it that felt very familiar. And maybe it's because it kind of reminds me of Prometheus. It kind of reminds me of Alien. It's very much those space marines go into a new space and see something, but then at the end there's this elder god twist, which was cool. I really loved the design of that and the mythos behind. I think I enjoyed the mythos behind it more than I did the actual story that they told. So, yeah. Do I really was it interesting to see? Yes, of course. Was the animation good? Of course. It's beautiful. It's not a happy end. It's not even really an ending. It just kind of stops. And then you know, I don't know. I don't know. Wasn't my favorite. Not one that I'll go back to and watch multiple times over. The one about Io. This one was interesting. I really enjoyed the idea of the moon Io being a machine. I really thought that that was an interesting take on it. I wasn't sure where they were going with it when it was playing. After watching it, I'm still not entirely sure where they went with it. It's definitely one of those deeper, more philosophical ones, which they don't tend to do very often. But they did have a really good job with it. The animation in it was very interesting. Somewhere between cel shading and somewhere between rotoscope. I don't know how they did it to get it to look so, like, vibrant. It does look a little flat initially, and that kind of turned me off to it. It really felt like a video game cutscene, which isn't a bad thing. But overall, as it went on, it really picked up momentum. It was a very interesting piece. It was engaging. Yeah, I don't really have any negatives to say about that one. I thought that they did a really good job. And over time, like, I wasn't sure about it initially, but it did grow on me. I think there was a lot there that was very cool, very engaging, and I just wish they had developed the other character a little bit more before the incident happened. But that's just me having, like, that's just me wanting a little bit more from it. The next one would be the one about the swarm. This one was interesting. Was it that interesting, though? I'll put it below the zombies. What I liked about this one, obviously animation, once again, amazing. Everything was gorgeous. They did a really cool job of establishing what they were doing with it. They did a really good job of moving it into this idea of aliens having... Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. The idea of this swarm being such an interesting and unique thing that can be harnessed, and then having that turned on someone. The creature animations in it were awesome. The idea that you could, for me, I'm just like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if you could just go from one place to another and just, like, effortlessly float through the air and just be in this, like, underwater but not underwater space. It was cool. It was really cool. I think that they had a really interesting story with it. The twist at the end, very, very engaging. A little bit gruesome, as it has to be. But the point it made was very interesting and very cool. The rats one, I think the rats one was probably one of my favorites. It was cute and sweet, but also, like, incredibly violent and graphic. But it does have that humor to balance it out with. So overall, I really enjoyed that one. I thought they did a good job on the rats. I thought they did a good job on the people. So there it is. 3 Robots. This 3 Robots series is probably my favorite. That I think it's the first direct sequel that Love, Death, and Robots has done, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's silly, it's funny. They have such an interesting dynamic between the 3 robots, and the fact that they're just coming in and seeing, you know, all of decimated humanity. It does a really good job of putting things in perspective in a very not sardonic, but in a very sarcastic way. The robots themselves are really well done. They're very funny. It's good. I really liked it. What can I say? The big one here is Jibaro, and I'm kind of torn on it because I think the story is lacking, but they tell the whole thing with almost no words. I really liked the animation in this one is unbelievable. They have such... Like, it's so beautifully done. And I don't know. I didn't like the story, though. I loved the idea of the deaf character being able to resist a siren song, and that saves his life, but then he just kind of proves to be just as much an asshole as everyone else. So that kind of holds it back. I'm just like, man, there's a part of me that's just like, man, I wish it could have just been a love story. Why couldn't it have just been a love story? But that's just me being, you know, optimistic or romantic. I don't know. Whatever it is I am, that's what I was. So, yeah. I liked it. It was definitely memorable, and I would put it easy, high A. I'm curious to know what everyone else thinks. Okay, so Jabaro not doing too well on this person's ranking. But, yeah. Man, it seems like everyone liked the one that I don't remember very well. I need to go back and do my research. So, that's where I stand. Hopefully you enjoyed Love, Death, and Robots. Hopefully they make another season soon. And who knows, maybe we'll have a watch party in the future. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. My name is Matti McLean. You can find me on problematic streaming platform Spotify at A Canadian in Eurovision. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at The Big Shabam. And finally, if you like what you've seen here and you want to help me out, feel free to like, subscribe. It really does help. And also, if you want to see me do something next, don't be afraid to tell me. Looking forward to hearing from y'all soon, and you have a great day now.